It's a beautiful spring morning here on the farm. Septic sprinkler running. It's so peaceful seeing all that sewer water go out on the grass, which is the perfect segue into our project. Today, we are going to be replacing our septic air pump. So this is really is simple. And I mean, whatever, if you want to hire a self-proclaimed professional or licensed electrician to do it, that's fine. You do you, okay? But all I did, if you have a septic system like this in your backyard, this little box cap sits up on top of here normally. Pull a couple screws out. They're square-headed screws. And this air pump, literally, it just sits on here. It's not bolted down. It's not screwed down, nothing. Now that's interesting. I just noticed that. I don't know if that looks like an arc fault, like black from spark, or if that's just from moisture somehow staining off that screw. Anyway, our air pump pooped the bed. But these are really common pumps. They're a couple $100. I think we got this one off Amazon for $250 or $300. But they sell them as pond aerators. I guess if you did a Google search for septic air pump, it would probably find you the same thing, but a lot of them are marketed as, you know, koi pond or pond aerators, whatever. So we're just going to swap it out. We're going to pull this one off. You got to get a pair of pliers. Maybe not. No, you don't need a pair of pliers. Just take that ring back, wiggle that rubber hose off of there, and then the cord. See, all these cords, all this stuff all goes down to your pump and everything inside, like your liquid pump and all that stuff inside the septic. This black cord here is the only one for the air pump. And so we've just followed it around. You see, it's the only double shielded pump, or only double shielded wire. And then we look right here inside the box, and you see, there's our double shielded wire. So we've got this black and white pair right here, and we've got a green to ground. That's all it is. Now I'm gonna bet this new one, excuse me for sniffling, I don't have a cold, I just sneezed for some reason. I'm gonna bet this new one has an actual like 120 plug on the end of it. So we'll probably have to cut that off. Yeah, there it is, see? So we'll just cut that plug off the end and then strip the wires back. There's no reason like to think if this thing shows up in your mailbox, right? And then you're like, oh wait, it's got the wrong plug, I need one with bare wires. No, you didn't buy the wrong plug. I mean, look, they're literally, this one's a high blow brand. Oh, look at that. Look, high blow, that's my old one, and the new ones. That's so funny, because I didn't see, the other night I looked at this tag, and I was like, man, I was looking all over. I lifted the lid, and I saw that tag, but that's the name of the company that basically installed it. Okay, but I was like, I know that's not the brand of the pump, although it does have a model number on the pump. But then when I searched that model number, the first thing it pulled up was this high blow, which I was like, oh, high blow, like that just sounds like, you know, some sort of cheap Chinese crap. But I bought it because it was cheap, and here we are, high blow. That's what I had on there. This one lasted us 7 years. Now, most of these pumps are designed to be rebuildable. I've never rebuilt one myself, but I know my wife has, because she runs, she's had big pumps like this before on all of her her aquarium systems. So they are rebuildable. So what we'll do, we'll swap this one out, and then when we get a chance, we'll get a rebuild kit for that one and rebuild it basically. That way we always have one on the shelf, and you know, in another 7 or 8 years when it goes out again, we won't have to then go spend $300 at that time, and you know, we won't be down really, because this has been down now for going on a week. Now the reason how we knew, okay, if you're not sure, because you can't see down in your tanks and know if it's bubbling. One, the red light kicks on, and that red light just says, hey, there's a problem. I don't really know what the problem is, but there's a problem. Walk by your unit and try to do this. You know, we try to do it on the daily. We walk through this backyard all the time from the house to the shop. And if it's quiet out, you can just listen. You can hear it humming. But if you can't hear it, just walk by and just place your hand just like this on the box, and you'll feel that pump running, just that, you know, just that nice hum of the air pump running, because it never shuts off. So we check on ours all the time. We have about twice a year, completely random. It's never because of a rainstorm. It's never because of a lightning storm. The breaker on our panel up there that feeds all of this whole septic system will trip. And we just reset it and life goes on. We don't really know why it trips, when it trips. There's never really any rhyme or reason, so we just reset it and keep going. So that's what we thought the other night we saw. But if your breaker trips, of course, the red light's off because there's no power, period. So when we saw that there was a red light on, we're like, well, that's strange, because that means the breaker's on, but something else is not working. Well, like I said, it's just throwing a code, basically. It's saying, hey, your air pump quit working, right? Something's broken. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and prep this cord. Since our septic system is running right now, I'm going to let it run as long as it can. I'm going to go ahead and cut that end off, strip the wires back, and then I'll just go over here to the main panel, kill the breaker that feeds. So you've got 3 breakers in here, and one of those does feed the air pump. But excuse me, I'm sorry about that. I'm not going to just kill one breaker in here and then have the rest of those possibly live while I'm working on it. So I'm just going to go kill the main. This whole thing's dead, or not the main on the house, but the main breaker that feeds this whole system. That way I know everything inside this box is dead, and I can reach in there quick and easy, zip them screws in and out, and be done with it. So let me get that all done, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we've stripped back our wires, and I've gone ahead and killed the breaker that feeds this whole system, and I'm just going to show you one more time. Right here, you have your black, your white, and your green for ground. And actually, I was just teaching my son, I was showing him how to do all this. I said, you know, the thing is, we're going to replace one wire at a time. I said, because otherwise, if I unhook black and white, I might forget where they go. But not really, because it says right there, common black, common white. So, or I'm saying common, it says C. Everything in here is labeled CB, CB1, CB2, and maybe that has to do with the breakers being A, B, and C. I really don't know. It doesn't matter. It's really, really well labeled. Even over here, you know, green for ground, in case you didn't see all the other green wires. Whoops. In case you didn't see all the other green wires, it says right there, ground. So yeah, we're going to, I've already loosened the black screw, so we're just gonna swap them wire for wire. And then I guess we'll go flip the breaker back on to make sure the new pump's working, and then we'll put it all back together. All right, so easy peasy. We swapped it out. And our new air pump is sitting here just humming and blowing, okay? I will say we had one struggle. Our ground screw was so tight that when I went to loosen it with a screwdriver, it broke the tip of the screwdriver off. I don't know why it was that, yeah, twice. I don't know why it was that tight, but we had to actually go get an impact driver. We'd already had the impact driver, but I had to go get a flathead bit for it, and was able to smack it with that impact, and then it popped loose. But I was explaining to my son, in this particular case, God forbid you strip that screw or something out and you couldn't get it loose. There's a second port here that's available, at least in my unit, and had we had to do that, we would have cut this wire back from the pump, the wire we were removing. We would have just cut it as short as we could and put a nut on it or something right here, and then we would have hooked our new wire up there. These two grounds they're in parallel with each other. Okay, so we have the main turned on. Just to test that, we're gonna go turn our main breaker back off, hook all this back up, and should be back to working. But let's see. Oh, our red light is our red light still on, or is it just because the sun's out? Oh, I wonder maybe the red light's on because the system's running right now. It may be because I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the red light ever shuts off. Maybe it won't. Who knows? Maybe that pump's been out for a long time. We just didn't know. Anyway, it's fixed now.
Right there.
That's it. We're done.